Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and we have yet another fantastic puzzle for you today. Now, the thumbnail here will probably give you a little bit of a clue once you see the name, but it's a raging sleuth. So it's an unusual puzzle, and I'm hoping it's not going to be causing me to rage as I'm trying to figure it out. But let's take a look at what it actually offers today. So we have, despite all my rage by yttrio, and it's a very sparse grid when you look at it. There's almost like nothing on there. Let's take a look at the rules. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply, so digits 1 to 9 in every row, including that cell, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. That's per normal. Digits cannot repeat within a cage. The sum of the digits in a single cage is referred to as the cage's cage sum. Cages of the same color have the same cage sum. Different colors may or may not have different cage sums. So essentially we have killer cage clues, but we don't actually know what the sum is. What we do know though is, we've got a sum of A, quite a few of them here, and they're also colored in blue helpfully for us to be able to spot them quickly, B in gray, and C in what I will call kind of pink/red. Now, the other clue we've been given is that the sum of A, B, and C can be the same. It doesn't have to be different, which I think is a helpful clue to know. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to cause me to rage, but I admit, normally by the time I've actually explained the rules, I have a clue on where to get started, but today I don't have a Scooby-Doo, if I'm honest. So this is going to be very interesting. Strap in. And as always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below. And with that said, let's restart the clock and see how we're going to get on with this puzzle. And at least the target is no raging. Second target will be, let's see if we can actually solve it. So what I'm noticing across, at least for the A's and C, is that they are predominantly composed of 2-cell cages with the odd 3-cell cage. So I'm going to start sort of making some notes here. So we know that the minimum is 1, 2, 3. So we know that the minimum, let's actually turn off the pen letter tool, is a 6. No, not even that, because we've got 2 of them in a row. Let's think about this a bit more, actually, pardon me. So we have 6 in here, that's 21. We've got to have an even number, I assume, because we've got to be equal. So 11 is the minimum. That feels about right. And 17 is the maximum. Is it, though? Because we need 4 ways of being able to get to A. 4 different ways with 2 pairs. And 17, there's only one way of doing it, 9 and 8. 16 is only 9 and 7. 15 is only 2 ways. 14 is only 2 ways, 5, 9, 8, 6. We're down to 13. 13 is only 3 ways, 6, 7, 5, 8, and 4, 9. There's no other way. 12, surely. 9, 3, 4, 8, 5, 7. A is 11. That is surprising. Did I do this correctly? So we need 4 different ways of being able, using 2 digits to get to A. I'm just going to double check with 11. So 5, 6, yep, solid. 4, 7, 3, 8, and 2, 9. Now I can certainly see why 12 won't work, because 12 is an even digit, meaning we can't use the 6. Sorry, not 4, 6, surely, 4, 7. So I can see how it's 5, 7, 4, 8, 3, 9, and then we're done. And this has to be 11. Reason I say it has to be 11 again is we've got a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which adds up to 21. And if we divide that by 2, that's 10.5. We're not going to get a sum of 10.5 in a Sudoku puzzle. So it's 11, and 11 is the minimum. And indeed, it's also the maximum based on this. Yep, I'm happy with this. I'm also happy with this being a 1. We don't know what these are. What we do know is they're going to be different. What else do we know? We know that this is going to add up to 10. So 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6 is quite a few options. Now I'm going to say this needs to have a 2, because 3, 4, 5 gets us to a minimum of 12, which is not 11. So there's a 2 in here with something that adds up to 9. Interesting. So we know 9 is not in here. 9 is not in there either, because you see 9 and 1 would be 10. We need a duplicating the 1 to get to 11, so 9 is down here. Good to know. 8 could be up here. Can it? 8 and 1 gets us to 9, and we need a 2, which we've already said has to be in this cage. So 8 is also down here. Next we have 7. It feels like it might actually be almost entirely fixed, or very few degrees of freedom. Let's think about the 7 now. So the 7 and 1 would get us to 8 with a 3. It's unfortunately usable, 7, 3, and 1. The 7 couldn't go in the 2 cage, because that will get us to 9 and would need to duplicate the 2. So I'm going to just put down 3, 7 as an option. But we also know that 4, 6 is an option. Now if I use, I'm just going to, because 3, 7 means we still need to get to 9 here. 1, 2, and 3 are gone, so we have 4 and 5. So that would be an option. Now the other option could be that this is 4, 6 to get to 10. And we still need 9 in here. 4, 6. Sorry, I'm just going to move the 3, 7 not to confuse myself. Which would put the 7 down here. Will leave us with a 5. 2 and 5 gets us to 7. And we still need a 4, which we can't use. Is that really entirely fixed? That's amazing. Yeah, because we've used 1, 4, and 6. So the only, and 8 and 9 are gone. So the only remaining digits is 3, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so there's 3 digits remaining. Somehow we need to get these to add up to 9. That's not going to happen. They're all odd. So any 2 of them will get us to an even digit. That's not going to work. So shockingly, this is entirely fixed. Quite unintuitive. And the 2 we need to get to a 9, we said it can only be 4, 5, because 1, 2, and 3 are gone. 4, 5 is the only thing that's remaining. This is 6, 8, 9. And we have, I mean, aside from the fact we placed the 1, we have digits. We have quite a few pencil marks. This is an excellent start. Now, this is not 3 or 7. If you remember, we had 3, 8, 5, 7, sorry, 3, 8, 4, 7 as an option. This is neither of them. So this is 2, 9, or 5, 6 now. I'm not going to pencil mark all the remainder, really. It's just silly at that point. Let's have a think, though, about C. If it's similarly constrained. I feel like the answer to that is probably not. Because if it is 11, we need to place a 1 in here. Because that would get us to 44, 4 times 11, and then a 1. So that's not going to work. Interesting. Actually, 689 is very helpful. And the reason I say that is, so we know that every row and column and box have the digits 1 to 9. And if you sum them all up, we get to 45. So we know that this is 45 with a remainder of 6, 8, or 9. Now, whatever we take, whichever one of these that we take away from 45, the remainder has to be divisible by 4. And that might be enough to actually give us the clue of what C sums up to. So if we try that, 45 minus 6 is 39. It is not 6. 45 minus 8 is 37, I'm going to say. Yeah, 39, 37. It's not 8, it's 36. And therefore, 36 divided by 4, each of these needs to sum up to 9, which I think is the only other digit that can have, well, probably 10 as well. 10, I'm guessing, would be even more. No. 9, 10, 11 are the only digits that have 4 different ways of summing up to them in pairs. Pardon me. I'm not sure I actually articulated that correctly. So 9, 10, and 11 are the only sums that you can get to them in 4 different ways in a 2-cell pair. Now that makes a bit more sense. So this is either 4, 5 or 2, 7, because we've kind of used the 6 and 8 in here, and we have no other remaining options for this. This will almost certainly have a 1 in it. This will have to have 1 or 2 in it. Same, this will have to have a 1 or 2 in it. We've proven earlier 3, 4, 5 gets us to 12. That's not going to work. This can still be both 1 and 2. Okay. Could still have 1 and 2 in there. Yeah, that's still possible. Right. We probably should have a think about the B's as well. And again, this clue is probably going to be helpful. So 45 minus the 2 doesn't work because that's 43. 45 minus 4 is 41. That doesn't work either. It is a 5. With 40 divided by 4, each of these needs to be 10. So we've got 9, 10, and 11. And all 3 possibilities are covered now. Now, if this is 10, this can still be 1, 9, 3, 7. I think now the clue is very much about taking a look at where the columns are. Because, we're not really going to be able to do much with the rows. Question is, what can we do with the columns when a lot of it has already been pencil marked? So this is getting to 10, and remember this is getting to 9. 1, 9 is out, 9 is gone. 2, 8 is out, 8 is gone. 3, 7 is a possibility. 4, 6 is out. Is that the only way? Yeah. Because we've used 3 of them. And that's the 4th. Excellent. So that means 2, 7 is out. That's 4, 5. That's not 3 or 7. Therefore, that's not 1 or 9. That's not... Actually, all options seem still available here, surprisingly. We do need something in here, though. We do need 1 and 2. Which means that's not 2, and therefore that's not 9. C. Right, so now we know it's got at least a 1. It's only got one single 1 or 2, not both. Because otherwise that would leave that cell without anything. So if it's 2, 3, 4, that would be 1, 7, not a problem. Actually, but does it create a problem for the B? 2, 3, 4. 1, 8. This puzzle feels a bit too clever for me. You really have to think hard about it. So whatever this cell is, it's in here. Let me try different things. So these cells, these 5 cells, sum up to 9. So we need 5 cells that sum up to 18, and there's only 3 degrees of freedom. 5 cells that sum up to 18, yeah. Because the minimum this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will get us to 15. And we actually need to get to 18. Let's go a bit better. Let's do better. We know that this is 10. 1, 2. These 7 cells add up to 27? No. 9, 9, 18, 28. Meaning these 2 cells must sum up to 17, I'm going to say. Yes. It can only be 8 and 9. That's not 9, that's an 8. That's the 9. That has to be the 1. This is now 3, 6. Yeah, you can see just how much pressure it's putting on all of this. An incredible amount of pressure. So this is 3, 6, or 2, 7. So we know the 1 is not in there. It's not in here either. It's in here. You see, kind of just normal Sudoku, but to get to 10, it would require the 9, which is gone. So that's 2, that's 1. Now, where does the 2 go? Can't be 2, 8. Can't be in here. That's 2, 7. That's 3, 6. So 1 and 2 are gone. 3, 7 is not available. 4, 6 is forced. 8, 6. And the remaining digits are 3 and 5. Yeah, and that adds up to 9. Super. 7, 7 even. 3. We can finish this row off. We've got 1, 2, 3 placed. We need 4, 8, and 9, I'm going to say. Clearly, that's not the 9. In fact, that's not the 1 either. Sorry, the 8, because that would require a 1, which is already placed. So that's the 4. That's the 5. That's an 8, 9 pair. That's 2 and 7. I guess that's maybe not too surprising that it would. We'll see multiples. I'm just thinking that I'm surprised they added up to 9. But yeah, that shouldn't surprise me. We've got 9, 9. 1 with the 8 is another 9, and another 9. Of course, it's another 9. Right. Where do we go from here? So 5, 4. We know that neither of these are 3, 6. We've got 2, 7 and 1, 8 left, which I will pencil mark once you're down to 2 options. So one of these is 3, 6, and the other one is a 9. So it could certainly be a 9 and a 2. Could be 9. It can't be 9 and 1 because that would place nothing in here. So that's 9, 2. That's not 9 or 2. That's a 5, 6 pair. We'll pencil mark these A's now. As I said, I'm prepared to pencil mark something once it's down to 2 options. So that's 4, 7, 3, 8. And that's not 8, and therefore that's not 3. Neither of these is 2, that's not 2, 7, that's 1, 8. That's not an 8, that's not a 3. Therefore, this is not a 4, 7. We are making really solid progress right now. 3, 6, so that's 3 going to join with a 7 or the 4. Can't be 3, 7 because that will break. There you go. 6, 4. Still need to place 2 and 8 somewhere. And then whichever one this isn't, whether it's the 1, 9 or the 3, 7. See, I'm not prepared to pencil mark this because that's still too many options. Let's have a look at what it can be. So it can't be 1, 2. It could be 3, 7. No, it can't be. Again, when I remove the 3, 7, yeah, that was 1, 9. That was a silly mistake. So 3, 7 is an option. 1 and 9. And 4, 6. Yeah, that. I'm glad I spotted this before I went a bit further. So same rule applies. It can't be both. No, it can be 1, 2. That gets us to 3 with an 8. No, that breaks this cell. So it's one of 1 and 2. Just don't know which one. This is not 3, 8. It could still be a lot of other options. It could certainly be 4, 7 even. Yeah, nothing breaks there. 6, 2. Yeah, it's fine. Certainly a bit stuck now. So let's take a look at Sudoku. We've got 2's and 2's, meaning a 2 has to be in here. Which also means either this is the 8 or this is the 8. Now, huge revelation. We've kind of known that already. Seven. Oh, that was standing there. Fairly obvious. 4, 6. I'm just gonna, yeah. And then the last option, 3, 7. There we go. That's not 7. Therefore, that's not 3. Yeah, 2, 8 or 7, 3. That's fine. Have we got any pairs or anything like that that look up? No. Yeah, this could easily be 2, 8 with this 8 here and then 3, 8. Yeah, not a problem. What is interesting though is I can't say it's even double 3's, can I? Because that could be 2, 8, and therefore that's just 8s. It could also be 3, 7 with the 3, forcing the 3 down here, but it's just not enough. It's all essentially almost like circumstantial at best. 2, 9. Bit of Sudoku, can't hurt. 4, 8. Definitely can't hurt. There you go. 5, 6, 5, 4. What do we need to do to complete the column? 6 and 8. 3 and 7. I mean, I'm almost certain the way to unravel this whole thing is just these 2 A's. We know that this cell, it's not that, no, it can be 4, 7. I was tempted to say that this cell has to be hidden here, but that's not true. In one of these two, this cell could actually still be this one. This can still be a 4, 7 pair. If I can eliminate it, then I would know that the 1 is in here. Because remember, essentially we'd end up with 4 11s, and therefore the 1 is down outside it, because we'll get to 44. I can't even get to that. 1, 2, actually only 3 11s. 33, that doesn't work. So this cell is not in here. Otherwise it breaks. No. Let me think this through, and then I'll try and explain it. We have 22. These two do not add up to 11. Yeah, so whatever I was thinking earlier is nonsense, ignore. There's 2, it's looking down there, that's the 7, that's the 2. Don't know if these things are really helpful. That's another 7 is in here now. Doesn't entirely help us. 4 is in here as well. And by the looks of things, 1 of 3 or 6. 5 is definitely in here though. Joint with 1 of 3 or 6 because of this clue down here. Right, time to think about these A's. As I said, I can do essentially around the peripherals a few Sudoku things and a small few deductions every now and again. It's not really going to solve the puzzle for us. What will solve the puzzle for us is figuring out what this A is or this A. So let's think about it. We said there are 4 ways of making 11. So 2, 9. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, 2, 9 is fine. 3, 8 gets very tricky. Eliminates 3, 8 from here. 3, 8. 3, 8 is not possible, obviously, because what would this cell be? So that's not an option. 4, 7. Now let me think through what I was trying to say earlier. If this is 22, and if this is 4, 7, it'll be a different 4, 7 to this one. So essentially we'll end up with 33 plus whatever this digit is. Could either be the 4 or the 7, it almost doesn't matter. Does it not matter? I think it does actually. 33 plus 4 gets us to 37. Which would leave us with a remainder within an 8, which is not possible because the 8 is gone in here. Now, if it is a 7, we'll get to 33 with the 7, gets us to 40, so it leaves us a remainder of 5, which on paper is possible, but it just depends on the composition of this cage, doesn't it? If I put, I'm just going to work through this. If this is 4, 7, what would this be? I can't use 5. No, sorry, excuse me. If this is 4, 7, we actually have entirely different digits in here. We actually end up with 33 as such, and then 2 digits that get us to 45. So this is actually looking quite possible, unfortunately. And then 5, 6, also possible. So the only one that's not possible is 3, 8. Now it goes against my instincts, but I will pencil mark these in. Because I'm trying to figure out what this is. Now I said it can only be one of 1 and 2. Why did I come to that conclusion? Because 1 and 2 gets us to 3. It would need an 8. And then we'll use 1 and 8 and break the cell. Yeah, so that's a solid conclusion. Now, if we don't use the 1, we said we do need the 2. And we need to get to 9 with either 3, 6 not available or 4, 5. Let's just work through 4, 5 for a second. So with a 2, this is the only option that's available. Eliminating 2, 4, and 5 from here. Eliminating 6, 7, and 9 from there. Does it break anything? No, 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 no. That's a shame. 7, 4. That's a real shame. So that's 7. That ends up not being 7. That ends up not being 4. Yeah, it just looks all doable, unfortunately. And we'd be left with 169. Yeah, all solid. Okay, so 2, 4, 5 is an option. Let's try 1 now. Now 1 places an 8, places a 4. So 4 is no longer available in here. Can't use the 2. If I use 3, I will need to use a 7. Can't use 3, it's not available. 4 is not available. 5 would be the next available digit. And then it breaks because we can't get to 11 with a 1. Stunningly. Essentially, we're trying to get to 10. 1, 9 is not available. 2, 8, we've already said is not available. 3, 7 is not available. 4, 6 is not available because we'll place an 8 in here, we'll place a 4 in here, and the 4 is not available. So this is 2, 4, 5, incredibly. 7, 4. None of these are 4 now. And I seem to remember this was 6 or 9, but let's just repeat that. So it's not 3, 8. Well, 7 is not available. So memory was something along as follows. 6, 9. And we're getting to 11, 5, 2. So we said it's not 2, 9. 2 is not available. It can be 2 and 9 that way. 3, 8 is not available because we'd break it. 4, 7 can't be 4 or 7. And 5, 6. And again, the 5 is not available, so 6 and 5. So that looks solid. We're looking good. 169. Not 9. This helps us. This is a 2, therefore this is an 8. This is now a 3, 7 set. There's so much pressure. You can see with so many duplicated items. Like I'm almost tempted to say this can't be 6, because that would be 6, that would be 4. This will be a 2, 5 pair. This will end up being 7, 3, 8, 1. It can be, and this will be a 9. That's a 9. really places very little pressure on everything else, unfortunately. But anyway, 169, that's a 2, that's a 9. Let's do something simpler. 245, that's an 8, that's a 4, that's a 1, that's an 8. We can't have a 5 in here, that's the 5. So we've got 245, we need 3, 7, and 6 by the looks of things. That's not 7. This can't be the 6. Yeah, that's the 3, 7. That's not up here. Do I have... Yeah, I kind of really need to solve this. I mean, I've sort of taken, again, some easy wins, but hasn't necessarily stopped me from having to crack this. So what do we need in here? We have 3, 6, 7 with a 5 of some sort. 3, 5, I'm going to say. Because 7 is not available, 6 is not available. 3, 5, 6, 7. That tells us this is now a 7. That's not a 7. This solves this side. 3, 7. We need 1 and 9, I'm going to say. 2s. Oh, come on. That was there for a while. 2s and this 2 in here. Whoops. I'm pretty sure this is all we need now to actually solve the puzzle. Now, if I remember, once you place a 6, pretty much everything is fixed at that point. So 4, 2, 7, 7, 2, 3, 7, 6, 8, 3. I got a 4 or 5 staring at either of these. Doesn't seem like it. That's a 1 anyway. That's a 3, 5. That's a 4, 5. No 4s or 5s. Okay. Not a problem. This 9 tells us more. 9. 5 tells us a lot more. Yeah. Need to place a 1 in here. That's 6 or 8. That's a 6, 8, 6. This is 3, 4, or 5. This is a 4. 5, 3, 5. We can solve this surely. 3, 6, 3, 6, 4. I've not made any other mistakes. 8, and that's a solution to today's puzzle. So immensely involved puzzle. You kind of need to be on top of your arithmetics, really. But an absolutely phenomenal puzzle. And, you know, goal number 1 was do it without raging. I think the answer is yes, that was a success, as well as goal number 2, which is solving it. You know, thank you so much, yttrio, for creating it. I really immensely enjoyed it. I hope you have too, and see you back for the next video. Bye for now.